Hello, guys. Welcome back to another video. This is the Football Connect. I'm your host, Simon. We are back again with another one as we just watched Manchester City beat Aston Villa by 2 goals to 1 in a game that I can actually really say it was a game which City showed that they're coming back of age, they're coming back to Man City we are used to, and they showed some confidence that we had not seen in some time. So don't forget to click the like button, don't forget to subscribe to the Connect. Let's talk about the game. So first of all, I thought coming into this game, I thought Aston Villa were gonna be dominant. I thought Aston Villa will play the like to the level that they did, even a bit of level that they did against Newcastle. But after I heard of the record of them at the Etihad, it kind of like made sense. I knew that they were gonna struggle, and I could actually understand that the reason why Unai Emery went with Marcus Rashford over Oli Watkins, because he wanted somebody who could take advantage and run behind the Manchester City defense so that he can actually try to create something or even try to score goals. All of those things make sense. All of those things are something that you'd expect a manager to be thinking ahead of time before the game so that he takes advantage of the situation. But Manchester City are looking like they're now well drilled. They're playing into a confidence of a team that is now finding themselves. They'd lost their aura, they'd lost their thing. And at this moment, the way they're playing, luckily they were not really that far from the top five, and they're gonna be getting that spot. They are playing like a team that understand what they want to do, what they need to achieve to get to that level. And like what Pep Guardiola said, this was a final for Manchester City. Of course, they might not be scoring at the level that we're used to seeing from Manchester City. They might not be performing to the level that we 100% need to see from themselves. Of course, goal scorers, Omar Mamouche is there, but he has not really expressed himself really as the type of a goal scorer we expected him to be. But you can see that the small pieces that Pep Guardiola is putting as well being helped by the academy team, it's working so well for the team and helping the team. The thing that I'm liking the most is how he has managed to make sure the likes of Kevin De Bruyne, Ilkay Gundogan, as well as Bernardo Silva are not running so much, yet they are moving the ball easily to take advantage of the spaces which the teams open or either leave for them when they are defending in a rigid way, or maybe when the team have been taken out, so that and they take advantages of the runners that they have. Omar Mamouche, Doku, today he was using Maketi. All of these things are some of the things that is helping Pep Guardiola to actually take advantage of all the teams that are not really there. One thing I can tell you, I did not expect to see this from Aston Villa. There was a bit of actually fearness in them. Maybe it's because of the early goal which was scored by Man City. I know Marcus Rashford hit the post, but the early goal which was scored by Manchester City kind of like made it difficult for Aston Villa to express themselves, to actually play their game. They felt like every single time they were trying to do 1 to 2 passes, they were finding themselves surrounded by City players, and they just could not get away from the prison that they were being put. And Marcus Rashford, most of the times when he was getting out and creating the opportunities to go forward, he was just maybe being overtaken by this City team, and they were losing the balls easily rather than to create something going forward. And I think that's something that Unai Emery needs to work with his team, because it also matters how you perform, how you keep moving the ball, and how you're helping the team to actually perform at a better level. Of course, Matheus Cunha scored the goal in the injury time for Manchester City. The first goal was scored by Bernardo Silva after when the, like what I'm telling you, City are doing this so well that whenever where the ball is there, flood them with so many players so that they create that chaoticness and they take advantage, because in their head they still have control over that chaoticness because it's happening on the opposition side of the player. That's what happened in the first goal. There were a lot, and Aston Villa could not just get the ball out fast, and from the ball hitting players, and the Omar Mushu, an amazing pass, it went in for a Bernardo Silva first goal. And I'm like, okay, how do Aston Villa respond? I expect them to respond. Then there was a penalty, and I do believe it was a penalty. It was scored by Aston Villa, and I'm like, okay, now you're back to level. Can you really start and show what you're capable of doing? And to be honest, I watched this game for some time. I kept on watching. Aston Villa could not just get into the game. City started playing their game. They allowed them to gain confidence. They started moving the ball the way they do, and before the time it moved, City had control of the whole entire game. Expected goals. This is the funny part. City had an expected goal of about the XG of about 109, 1.09. Aston Villa had 1.68. So Aston Villa should have taken advantages, because in terms of big chances created, City created 2, Aston Villa created 4. If they had taken even 50% of that, this game would have ended as a draw, or they would have won it, because that one was a penalty. 14 shots for City to 7 of Aston Villa. The thing that which was really irritating watching Aston Villa today, was they just could not take their chances. And when they were going to really hit Man City hard, they were making it easier for the goalkeeper to take advantage of the moment. Hence why City had control of the game, because they were not really being threatened at the backside by Aston Villa. They just kept on moving the ball, and I think that's what helped them. If you really watch, Bernardo Silva was on fire, played so well. Kevin De Bruyne, Ilkay Gundogan, and Kovacic. It was the midfield of Manchester City which kept this game. I felt like Onana, Kamara, and Tilleman were not really in the game for Aston Villa. They just did not get into that. Even Rogers. Rogers is the guy that you would expect to create something out of nothing. He just could not get into the game. I watched this game and I thought he would take advantages of the opportunities and the passes he was getting, and he just could not get into the game. And that for me is what led to Aston Villa losing the game and Manchester City winning the game. And I just feel like they need to improve into that. The defense of Aston Villa as well were not in the game. While the defense of Man City, if you look at the likes of Gavadio, likes of Diaz, they were really good in stopping anything that Aston Villa were creating. Hence, while the likes of Rashford, the likes of Ramsey, they were really fighting, but it felt like they were fighting a lost battle. And I think that's where the problem has to be held out to. They just did not get into the game. When City introduced the Doku, Omar Mush moved into the central, Kevin De Bruyne became one of the midfielders. They just overcome the thing. And this is the funny part. I'm looking at the City team. Kevin De Bruyne is going. We're hearing rumors of Ilkay Silva could be going. They are still in need of these players to at least keep performing at the level that they need to be performing, because you can see how much of a change these guys make, how much they are helping the two teams. And I just feel like, in terms of what we're seeing, City are finding themselves. They are now looking like a team that is big. They are performing at the level we want to see them doing, and they are doing so great at it. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. What can you tell me which was different? This was an easy game, easy penalties, just that Aston Villa did not take advantages of the big chances that they created. City on the other side, they did, and hence why they won the game. Like the video, subscribe to the Connect. Let me know where you're watching us from. And by the way, I could not react to anything during the weekend because I was actually sick. Sick. I could not open my mouth, people. I've been telling you that I've been having a problem with my mouth, and it reached that point where I could not even open my mouth. But here I am. I've recovered, and we'll be doing more of the Connect. That's what we are here for. Like the video, subscribe to the Connect. Let me know where you're watching us from. We're out. Peace. Tomorrow it's Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. The reaction is coming.